What's going on, everyone? Welcome to today's video. I'm really excited about this one. This video is going to shed some light on some of the more underrated JRPGs out there. Sure, there's the Personas and the Final Fantasies that most fans of the genre love and adore, but there's a ton of games out there that are truly incredible and don't get enough love. These types of lists are my favorites because I can't tell you how many times I stumbled across a game I'd never tried before and I absolutely fell in love with it. Some of the games on this list are all-time favorites of mine, so I'm really excited to talk about them. With that said, let's not waste any more time and get right into the games. First up, I have Nier Replicant. We all know how cool and amazing Nier Automata was, but it started with a Nier game that came out quite a long time ago. I had played it on the PS3 and I did enjoy it, but it didn't resonate with me quite like Automata did. However, once Replicant released and I played it with all its quality of life improvements and the upgrade and controls and mechanics to play really similar to the Automata game, it completely changed my feelings on Nier. I love Replicant, and I feel like it doesn't get quite the attention it deserves. It kind of flew under the radar, I feel like, but it is one of my favorite JRPGs. Nier Replicant is a captivating and emotionally rich experience that blends action, storytelling, and music seamlessly. The game's compelling narrative delves deep into its characters, invoking genuine empathy and incredible storytelling. Its unique gameplay mechanics and stunning visuals complement a really intricate storyline, making every moment feel meaningful. The game's soundtrack further elevates its already compelling atmosphere. The journey through this world is truly a remarkable one. This new playthrough that I had with Replicant left a great impression on me, and it left me feeling completely different about the game. Could it be because after Automata, I was just felt more invested in the world and lore? Possibly, but this game is great, and I feel like it doesn't get talked about enough. If you haven't played Nier Replicant, then you absolutely should. Next up, I have Dragon Quest Monsters Dark Prince, and I know, how could this be underrated when it just came out like a month ago? Well, this is my list, and I'm putting it on here because I've played enough of it to know there's some magic here that people really aren't catching on to quite yet. I do truly think this is one of those that will be slept on for a while and then get a big cult following down the line. This game maintains the charm and strategic depth typical of the Dragon Quest Monsters series. These games are known to offer a delightful blend of monster collecting, tactical combat, mixed with engaging storytelling that takes place within the Dragon Quest universe that we all know and love. Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince doesn't introduce groundbreaking gameplay mechanics, yet its allure lies in the seamless integration of all of the elements in gameplay, resulting in an incredibly addictive experience that has kept me hooked since I started playing it. The thrill of exploration to find new monsters, building out my skill trees, and the constant dilemma of deciding which monsters to keep is just a ton of fun. It's a gameplay loop that I can't get enough of. The game does a great job of expanding its mechanics and overall scope as the game progresses. The pacing has felt great, and I've really enjoyed my time with it. If you haven't given Dragon Quest Monsters a shot due to its mixed reception, definitely give this one a go. I'm having a ton of fun with it. The performance dips here and there, but it doesn't break the gameplay experience. Give this one a shot. Moving on, next up we have Trails in the Sky. I know what you're thinking, right? But the Trails games are so hyped within this genre. So many people love Trails, but the reason it's on this list is because when people talk about Trails, they seem to leave out the original. Well, in my opinion, the original had the responsibility of building out one of the all-time greatest worlds in all of JRPGs. It really set the stage. Yes, there's a ton of reading, and the combat mechanics aren't up there with the later games, but this is easily one of the greatest JRPGs ever made. The story kept me hooked, the gameplay was good enough to build on itself throughout the game, and create overall just an incredibly well-built and thought-out experience that felt really cohesive. I immediately wanted more. I finished this one and it reminded me of why I love JRPGs so much. Trails in the Sky is a captivating game that excels in storytelling and character development. Its meticulously crafted world and engaging narrative drew me into a rich, expansive universe filled with political intrigue and amazing character stories. The game's turn-based combat system is strategic and rewarding, allowing for depth without overwhelming you with complexity. What truly stands out is its well-written dialogue and memorable characters, whose relationships really evolve throughout the game, creating an emotional investment. While its pacing may feel slow compared to many games out there, and including many games in the series, The world building and immersive storytelling make Trails in the Sky a must play for anyone seeking a deep and rewarding narrative experience. Next up is Baten Kaitos 1 and 2 Remaster. And we could talk about the originals or the remaster, whichever, they're both unnecessarily slept on. I love these games and feel that they really do something different in many aspects, even still to this day. Playing these games doesn't feel like, oh, I've played something like this already that does this or that better. The experience with this one is, wow, I wonder why more games don't do this. These games were beloved for their unique card-based battle system, immersive storytelling, and stunning visuals on the GameCube. The remasters retain that charm while enhancing graphics and optimizing gameplay for the Switch. The games feature an imaginative world, engaging characters, and an intricate plot, making it a really memorable experience. The developers of one of my all-time favorite series, Xenoblade Chronicles, are responsible for these games, and I can't express how much I enjoy going back and revisiting these with the remasters. I only dipped into both of them, but I do plan on going back with the remasters on Switch and entirely replaying both because what I played reminded me of why I love these games so much in the first place. Definitely pick up the remasters on Switch if you haven't given these a go yet. Moving on, I have Monster Hunter Stories 2. This game was incredible when it launched, and I honestly thought it was crazy it wasn't getting more love and attention. I did a review of this game on my channel back when it released, and it was super positive. I know, don't get me wrong, the mainline Monster Hunter games are the star of the show, but stories, turn-based combat, and unique storytelling make for a completely new and unique experience in a world that I always enjoy jumping into. Monster Hunter Stories 2 is a delightful spin-off that breathes new life into the Monster Hunter universe. It combines exploration, strategy, and creature collecting in a vibrant world. The turn-based combat system centered around forming bonds with monsters adds depth and excitement to the battles. I really enjoyed the game's visually stunning environments and charming cel-shaded art style, as it created a pretty immersive experience for me, and it was complemented by an intriguing storyline. It wasn't groundbreaking by any means, but more focus definitely seemed to be put on the story in this one over the mainline games, hence the stories addition to the title. While it might feel slightly repetitive in its monster taming mechanics and the turn-based combat, the game's engaging gameplay loop and extensive variety of monsters to collect kept it engaging throughout. This is one of the games that you should definitely check out if you happen to miss it. Alright, next up on the list I have Soul Hackers 2. This is a game I thoroughly enjoyed that many others seem to either miss or didn't give it enough time. This game is a sequel to another slept-on game in a series developed by Atlas. This is a great game that I think many people expected like a Persona level quality from, and when it wasn't another Persona, they let go of it, but on its own, as a JRPG, it's absolutely great. Now, don't be mistaken, it feels very much like a Persona or an SMT game. It has demon fusion, a crew of characters you'll get to know and interact with throughout the game, and quite a few other things where you'll be like, oh, I've seen this before, and this overall makes for a familiar but new experience that I think fans of the other games will enjoy a ton. There's a ton of really interesting combat mechanics that pick up some elements from SMT and Persona to make a unique experience with characters in a setting that I haven't really seen or experienced in a JRPG before. There's a ton of quality of life stuff here. And while combat can be challenging at times, the game doesn't punish you for experimentation. With its depth and mechanics and different ways to approach different situations, this is something I really enjoyed about it. Overall, I really enjoyed my time with Soul Hackers 2. I loved the story, really had fun with the characters and the combat. The dungeons can get a little repetitive, but it didn't take away from my overall experience, and that's why it's on this list. All right, moving on. This is a game that I feel never gets talked about enough, and that's Tokyo Mirage Sessions. This game is an incredible experience and honestly really surprised me. I didn't think I would like it too much when it first came out, but when it was re-released on the Switch, I gave it a try and it's amazing. Tokyo Mirage Sessions is a vibrant and unique crossover between the worlds of Shin Megami Tensei and Fire Emblem. Set in modern Tokyo, the game combines elements of both series. It blends turn-based combat with a J-pop idol theme. The gameplay revolves around battling enemies, using a mix of skills, magic, and strategic combat tactics, making each encounter both challenging and rewarding. I really enjoyed the turn-based combat in this one, and it adds a few elements to it that I haven't seen before in turn-based games. The dungeons themselves feel very much like a Persona game, and I did very much enjoy that aspect. The game's stylish visuals, really catchy music, and engaging storyline kept me hooked. You'll navigate through the worlds of entertainment and supernatural threats. It doesn't fully cater or commit to traditional Fire Emblem or Shin Megami Tensei mechanics or playstyles due to its distinct and original approach, but it does, however, provide a really great JRPG experience that I think everyone should try. If you haven't picked up Tokyo Mirage Sessions yet for whatever reason, definitely give this one a go. It's on Switch and it's a great time. All right, Lost Odyssey is the next game I want to talk about, and it's one of those games that really stuck with me. If you played this one on the Xbox back when it released, you were likely as surprised as I was. I didn't have super high expectations for it going in, but it more than surpassed them by the end. This was actually one of those games I was sad to finish because I enjoyed it that much. I haven't gone back and played it for a really long time, but I'd like to play it again because I'm sure it holds up really well. Lost Odyssey is a masterful JRPG that excels in storytelling and emotional depth. It has a gripping narrative that follows an immortal warrior on a journey through a beautifully crafted world. The depth of character development and the storytelling evoke genuine empathy and investment in the characters' fates. The traditional turn-based combat system offers strategic depth, and the game's stunning visuals and musical score complement the immersive experience. I really enjoyed how Lost Odyssey really stood as a testament of classic JRPG storytelling and mixed in more modern gameplay elements while retaining that classic turn-based feel. It really was a great game. I do feel like this game isn't talked about enough, and I'd love for it to get a remaster on modern console so others can play it and it can get more renewed attention. I'm sure fans of the game would speak its praises and tons of new people would discover a new RPG that they would really enjoy. All right, moving on, I've got Harvestella, and this is a unique one that is more of a mashup of two genres. It's a farm sim and action JRPG, and the way it combines the two gameplay types is quite intriguing. This is one of those games I had high hopes for, and it delivered in my opinion. I really enjoyed my time with it. It did, however, come with some mixed review scores, and therefore I don't think it gets talked about quite enough because in my opinion it should be praised for its original ideas and distinct gameplay mechanics. There's really not much out there that does what this game does. In my opinion, Harvestella is one of those relaxing, feel-good games I would sit down for extended periods of time, losing hours to this one. The gameplay loop is nice, and I think it delivers on what it aims to do very well. In a vibrant and colorful world, you'll tend to your crops, befriend some townsfolk, overcome threats, discover the origins of the world and the truth behind some narrative mysteries along the way. The story is interesting, but the gameplay is super addictive. I will say that Harvestella has a lot of interesting mechanics at play here, and while it isn't a master of a single one, the combination of all of them really makes the game shine and helps change things up and kept me engaged throughout. Harvestella is one of the more original and interesting games on this list, so you definitely need to check this one out if you haven't yet. Finally, the last one on the list, I've got Scarlet Nexus. This is one of my favorite JRPGs to release recently. It's incredible, and I felt there was a lot of hype leading up to its release, actually. It had an anime that released alongside it, which actually wasn't too bad, and the game itself was incredible in my opinion. It's not often we get new IPs in the JRPG genre. We tend to get a lot of sequels and spin-offs and remakes, so it was cool to see this brand new thing pop up. Since its release though, I haven't seen the game get all that much love and attention. Everything from the story, the characters, lore, and gameplay all were really great, and I couldn't get enough of the game when it came out. This is an action JRPG that seamlessly blends a futuristic world with fast-paced combat and engaging narrative. You'll jump into a society where psychic abilities are the norm. The game has really great visuals, diverse character abilities, and well thought out level design. The game's unique mechanics, along with the interconnected relationships between the characters, made Scarlet Nexus a standout game for me. I loved the combat, and that's important since you do a lot of fighting in this one. If you're looking for a great action JRPG, then definitely give Scarlet Nexus a go. All right, that's it for my list of underrated JRPGs. These games are all great, and if you haven't played them, definitely give them a try. Be sure to let me know in the comments below if there's some more underrated games that didn't make this list. Maybe I haven't played them yet, and I'm always looking for more recommendations for new JRPGs to play. Anyway, that's it for me today, so until next time, I'm out.